Hey, good evening, good day, wherever you're at. This is Rick, and I'm going to read some excerpts from Neville Goddard. Let's start. All wars prove that violent emotions are extremely potent in precipitating mental rearrangements. Every great conflict has been followed by an era of materialism and greed, in which the ideals for which the conflict ostensibly was waged are submerged. This is inevitable because war evokes hate, which impels a descent in consciousness from the plane of the ideal to the level where the conflict is waged. If we would become as emotionally aroused over our ideals as we become over our dislikes, we would ascend to the plane of our ideals as easily as we now descend to the level of our hates. Love and hate have a magical transforming power, and we grow through their exercise into the likeness of what we contemplate. By intensity of hatred, we create in ourselves the character we imagine in our enemies. Qualities die for want of attention, so the unlovingly states might best be rubbed out by imagining beauty for ashes and joy for mourning. Isaiah 61:3. Rather than by direct attacks on the state from which we would be free. Whatsoever things are lovely and of good rapport, think on these things. For we become that with which we are on rapport. There is nothing to change but our concept of self. There is nothing to change but our concept of self. Humanity is a single being in spite of its many forms and faces. And there is in it only such seeming separation as we find in our own being when we are dreaming. The pictures and circumstances we see in dreams are creations of our own imagination and have no existence save in ourselves. The same is true of the pictures and circumstances we see in this dream of life. They reveal our concept of ourselves. As soon as we succeed in transforming self, our world will dissolve and reshape itself in harmony with that which our change affirms. The universe which we study with such care is a dream. And we, the dreamers of the dream, eternal dreamers, dreaming non-eternal dreams. One day, like Nebuchadnezzar, we shall awaken from the dream, from the nightmare in which we fought with demons, to find that we never really left our eternal home, that we never were born, we were never born, and have never died save in our dream. And I'll start somewhere else. I seem to be surrounded by luminous clouds, which emanated. This is from a story, huh? At another time, I lay on my bed, and with my eyes shut as in sleep, I brooded on the mystery of Buddha. In a little while, the dark caverns of my brain began to grow luminous. I seemed to be surrounded by luminous clouds which emanated from my head as fiery pulsating rings. I saw nothing but these luminous rings for a time. Then there appeared before my eyes a rock of quartz crystal. While I gazed upon it, the crystal broke into pieces which invisible hands quickly shaped into the living Buddha. As I looked on this meditative figure, I saw that it was myself. I was the living Buddha whom I contemplated. A light like the sun glowed from this living image of myself with increasing intensity until it exploded. Then the light gradually faded, and once more I was back within the blackness of my room. Out of what sphere or treasury of design came this being mightier than human? His garments, the crystal, the light, if I saw, heard, and moved in a world of real beings, when I seemed to myself to be walking in the night, when the lame, the halt, the blind were transformed in harmony with my inner nature, then I am justified in assuming that I have a more subtle body, subtile body, than the physical, a body that can be detached from the physical and used in other spheres. For to see, to hear, to move are function of an organism, however ethereal. If I brood over the alternative that my psychic experiences were self-begotten fantasy, no less am I moved to wonder at this mightier self who flashes on my mind a drama as real as those I experience when I am fully awake. And folks, I'm not fully awake right now. I had a heavy dinner, and I will get back to this later. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you got something out of that. I'll definitely get on another one later tonight. Take care now.